Vinyl community, I'm here to do the top 10 finds of 2015 for me. As usual, if you don't like different parts of the video, you can just skip ahead and see what comes up. 2015 for me has been a great year of digging. I watched the last year's video, the top 2014, and in my opinion this year blows that video out. And mainly because I think for me it's been more quality than quantity. I've put a little bit more money in fewer records and getting the stuff that I really wanted. And I have had less time this year to go out and critique and listen because of mainly my daughter taking up more time and interest of my life. Some of the records that that didn't cut the list, the top 10, was in chronological order. Utan misstanke that we listen to in the background now, the Free Jazz record from 1965 that they reissued. Visa from Djupvik, Notes from the Underground, the Bert Rosengren record, Waltz for Debbie by Monica Zetterlund, Hansson Karlsson's compilation For People in Love from 2010, which was a great find along with Mickey Markman's second LP, or first, by the same seller that I bought for a great price. Sten Blomma, the Silence record I got in a trade, which I'm very happy about, and the SOS record with John Sermon that Teddy showed that I bought and listened to, that I just love. You have all the 70s and 80s reissued Blue Note records that I got in a pile. A huge stack of Blue Note records that I digested and researched and had an awesome time with that. Not only music-wise, but also learning-wise, and started to communicate with Braka P-Dub, Paul, to learn even more, and had an awesome experience communicating with him. Topographic of the Lungs, the Free Jazz record, which they re-released. Interval by Börje Fredriksson. Turid's Bilder, also on the Silence label. I Want to See the Bright Lights Tonight by Richard and Linda Thompson. Toe Fat's first record, and Torture Garden by John Zorn. And that record, I think that maybe it's a 2014 find, but right there on the edge. Before moving on to the top 10, and I'm already 3 minutes into this video, god damn, I'm gonna show you a record that didn't cut the list, but I want to show it. Amongst the Blue Note records that I got, the 80s reissues, French reissues on Pathé, is Point of Departure by Andrew Hill. Maybe one of my top 3 Blue Note records. It's just that fantastic, in my opinion, with Eric Dolphy, as you can see, Ken Dorham, and Anthony Williams, Joe Henderson, Richard Davis. Fantastic record, but it didn't cut the list. So moving on to the top 10. 2015 has been, I can't deny it, it's been a jazz year for me. Been diving into the genre, especially a little bit freer, and it's been awesome. There's so much to learn and so much to absorb, and it's gonna take 3 lifetimes to understand it and know it all. But getting all those Blue Note records and starting also talking with Braka P-Dub, we decided to do a kind of a VCLT trade kind of thing, and he sent me a Music Matters LP, and that's number 10 of finds this year. Something Else by Cannonball Adderley, with Miles Davis, Hank Jones, Sam Jones, and Art Blakey on Music Matters, and I saved the original sleeve with the sticker there. I mean, this press, thick cardboard, thick vinyl, sound quality wise, just fantastic. Like a record press to die for, and I'm so, jealous of Paul's Music Matters collection, of course. Who isn't? But then again, you wish that every record would sound and look like this, but they don't. But they do it right, Music Matters. And on number 10, thank you so much, Paul. Something Else. Staying in the jazz genre, we have number 9, and getting Mingus, the Black Saint and the Cine Lady, a second press, if I'm not mistaken, for a very good price, like $10, was just fantastic. One that I wanted, that should be in every jazz collector's collection, and finally having it just great. And music. So Mingus, number 9. On number 8, I'm cheating a little bit. I feel I have to, because these two records go hand in hand. Not only artist-wise, but also when I bought them. And on number 8 is Don Cherry's Organic Music and Live in Stockholm. Both Caprice releases. The Organic Music reissue. The original is dirt expensive, and the Live in Stockholm is a new kind of release. They released these in 2013, but I got them 2015. Both my introduction almost to Don Cherry and learning to appreciate his music, finding out and really understanding that he made music to die for. Maybe especially, I don't know, but for me, interest-wise, especially his Swedish years. And this is music stretching from 68 to 74. So a vast variety of jazz with those great players of Swedish jazz, Tommy Coverhult, Bernt Rosengren, Murphy Falai, and you also have Okita Miss on this on the live record. So on number 8, Don Cherry. On number 7, also a cheat. I'm cheating here because I'm showing 2 records once again, but it's by the same artist, but I didn't buy them at the same time. But as a collector, looking for records and finding them on the most peculiar places, I couldn't just choose one, so I took them both. So on place number 7, you have Tsuyoshi Yamamoto. As an artist. Midnight Sugar, this is the trio record, and this was released in 1973 or 4. And along with that, I'm also showing Summertime. The Summertime record I found at an old lady's house with crap records, but along with those crap records is a Japanese press on 3 Blind Mice of Midnight Sugar, just blowing your mind. And this one was a trade. I traded a bunch of records I didn't listen to and got Summertime in that trade. But finding out this artist, going into the label in 2015, the 3 Blind Mice label, and just finding Japanese records on those peculiar places was just experience-wise fantastic. So yeah, number 7. 3 years ago they released a reissue of this one. On Record Store Day. I got that right away, and also their last record. The second one though of theirs hasn't been reissued yet, and is still and I still need that in my collection. So, but since I think I may be mistaken, but I think that the original copy of this have went down in price since the reissue came out. And maybe that's why I could afford or pull the trigger on the original one, even if I had the reissue. But in 2015, I finally found and bought a copy of Hans and Carlson's Monument, the 1967 monster of a record. Just wrapping your mind around 2 guys playing drums and organ in 1967. Doing this awesome music with these 2 instruments is mind-boggling, and they felt so much ahead of their time. Owning an original copy of this is just fantastic. Number 6, Monument by Hans and Carlson. Number 5, and this is no surprise, I think. I showed this in like two videos ago. One that I believe every collector of Swedish prog would like in their collection, but not everyone has. Fläsket by Fläsketbrinner. Fläsketbrinner's second release and final 2 LP set, studio and live material. A monster of a record. More rare than the first one, but to be honest, not as good. But I mean, it's a close one. Still a fantastic record. You get 2 LPs of their music. Fläsketbrinner's Fläsket on number 5. Number 4 may come as a surprise to some people, and maybe to me too, I don't know. But in the 2014 best of video that I did, I showed my original copy that I found of Ellenas Trädgård. And I'm still very, very happy to have an original, even if it's beat up. But the vinyl is okay, but just the cover. And I said in that video that this is fine for me. I don't need another copy of Ellenas Trädgård. And what did 2015 bring? A reissue. But not only a reissue of the original LP, you get a 2 LP set with outtakes and a lot of other stuff in a gatefold. Thick, heavy, fantastic reissue. So having an original in the collection and having also a great playing copy made this to number 4. And Ellenas Trädgård, music-wise, maybe not the best in the Swedish prog catalog, but very, very out there and interesting. And it's hard to wrap your mind around the music. But everything from the cover to the music is just fantastic. A lot of you people know about it, but check it out if you don't. So prog, but as I said, 2015 has been a jazz year, and one of those records that everyone wants, or at least me, is this one, the next one. Finding it in Stockholm when digging with Anders was also maybe one of the reasons why it is on number 3 on the top 10 list. Because for me, in some parts, this is Anders in one record. But reading about the artist and about the record and about the different pressings it's like sums up record collecting in one way. But scoring I don't know, 5th press or something, but an early one by Albert Ayler Tria's Spirit of Unity on the Fontana label, but originally on the ESP label, was great. The music is fantastic, the press is fantastic, and the entire mythology of Albert Ayler and his time in Sweden, that's just so damn cool to get into. And a classic in the free jazz record collection. So number 3, Ayler. Number 2, this was an early find for 2015, but it still blows my mind. And every time I see it, I can't understand that I have it in my collection. But everything from the music to the lineup to the cover is just perfect. Pop Workshop Volume 2 with Tony Williams, Mads Winding, Janne Schaffer, Wojciech Gulgowski and Zbigniew Niewski, the 2 Polish guys. With the whole story behind it, that Tony Williams wasn't the main guy that they wanted. They wanted Billy Cobham because he was more popular in 1974 when they recorded this. But they had to take Tony Williams as a second choice, and that was brought to his attention. He's playing his heart out just to prove that he was as good or better than Billy Cobham and all that shit. You can read about it in the Jan Schaffer biography. It's just so cool it brings something else to the mythology, and it even kicks ass with Volume 1, Pop Workshop Volume 1, and maybe mainly because Tony Williams is on this one, but maybe also because this is a harder copy to record. It's hard to get this, to find it, and as a collector, it's just I searched for it so long. And I asked every store that I went to if they'd seen it, and some of them had it at one point, that kind of thing. And even if it's the most I've ever paid for a record, I got it for a great price. So on number 2, but it was close to be number 1, very close. So number 1, the best find of 2015. Let's start with this. 2015 was the year that I sold the July record. I got a huge chunk of money for it that I brought to pay off the car, parts of the car at least. And I started a savings account for my daughter and put some money in there. So the money went to adult stuff because it was too much to put into records. But he threw in 2 records that I've wanted for a while. One of them was Fläsket brinner, that I won't pay that money for a record. And the next one is also one of those records that I want so much, but they are too pricey for me. I'm not that kind of collector that puts down that kind of money. Not yet, at least. So having this record, one of the best records ever recorded in Sweden, in my opinion, one of the most interesting ones and the best in the prog section. That's one reason why it's on number 1. The second reason is every time I'm seeing that in my collection, I'm going to think of the July record and all the experience I had from that, finding it, having it, talking about it, selling it. It's incarnated with those 2 records, and especially this one. So at number 1, without further ado, International Harvester, Sov gott Rosmarie from 1968. One of those very sought after Swedish prog records, if not the most important Swedish record in the prog section on Love Records, and in my case it's on the Swedish Love Records. The first press, if I'm not mistaken, is on Finnish Love Records and has a red heart around the spindle hole. But the first Swedish press, in great condition, and I'm so happy. This is psychedelic rock, prog, everything mushed into one. Bo Anders Persson, that is the brain behind International Harvester, that did experimental music before this in 67, 66. Moving on to International Harvester, doing Harvester after that, and then Trägräs och stenar. It's just another masterpiece of a Swedish prog record after the other. Such a great musical mind. But with this being the best of them that I've heard, and having that in the collection brings that to number 1 of the finds of 2015. And so that's it. I hope you enjoyed the video, and please comment if you have comments, and I try to answer them as fast as I can, and talk to you soon. Bye.